Rob Murray, welcome, and thank you very much for taking part in this Royal Dornoch Oral Memories for our archives team. We'll just do a part one today, Rob, I think, because we've only got 3 hours of video to record. Rob, your family's steeped in Royal Dornoch and the area. Can you give the listeners some background there?
Yes, my grandfather was the pro, looked after the course, greenkeeper here. He was one of the ones who went to Dornoch to USA. Sadly, though, he passed away from a burst appendix when he was in his mid-30s, and my grandmother and my father and his brother both got stuck out at Granville, Ohio, but she worked away and came back to live in Rogart, actually. Right. My father, Ken Murray, who became secretary manager in the early 70s, moving on to finishing up around the mid 80s, was instrumental in his era of getting people to come to Dornoch, and he wrote to Mark McCormack, tried to get him involved in the club, and I believe Mark McCormack had been a member here but never visited the place. He then went on to entertain the likes of Ben Crenshaw, Peter Alice, Tom Watson, who became honorary members, as we all know. Tom Watson's visit, I think Tom Watson was the pivotal person who really put Dornoch on the map. He was obviously a current Open champion at the time. He was going on to defend down at Royal St George's, and he basically came here for one round of golf on the Saturday, and stayed the whole weekend, played 3 rounds and loved the place. Dennis Bethune, our past president, Jim Seater, past captain, caddied for them during that trip. But these people, Tom I believe put Royal Dornoch on the map. He's just been a brilliant ambassador for the club. He then later came on to become the first secretary manager, early 70s to mid 80s. So we've got there's a fair length of history. Obviously, I'm past captain 2018 to 20, and I was probably the first captain other than the war years to close the club down with COVID. So and then I moved on to during that period I was involved in the projects team for the new clubhouse, and now projects convener. So
and we'll come back onto that as probably towards the tail end of our chat. But the first time I can remember seeing yourself playing golf, Rob, because I knew your mum as an art teacher when I taught in Golspie High School as well.
That would have been an experience.
Yes, it was. She was a marvellous lady. We car shared for a while. Was the Carnegie week. You're playing in the Carnegie Shield, and that's an important week in Royal Dornoch.
Carnegie Shield, Butterfield, all these major tournaments. Carnegie Shield's a phenomenal tournament. Just the whole clubhouse is buzzing after matches. The whole qualifying, couple of rounds medal play qualifying, and then very often out onto the course for a playoff or final places. But my earlier memories of the Carnegie Shield was playing in it as a youngster. I'd been in my early 20s, came up, and in those days it was just 16 qualifiers for the Shield itself, whereas it's 32 these days. And I managed to qualify for the Shield. I was the last one in, 16, obviously playing one, and this was a young guy from Royal Aberdeen who was very good golfer, kind of plus golfer. Yep. And somehow I managed to get into the 18th and go down the 19th. Now, before the game, a chap called Willie Holla, his nickname, Eileen McRae's father, Hamish's father-in-law, a current vice president, past captain, and Eileen obviously is heavily involved with the archives at the moment. Yeah. So Willie approached me and said, "Rob, I'll caddy for you." And I said, "Oh, Willie, I've never had a caddy in my life. Come on." I wouldn't know what to do, just walking down the fairway with no clubs or anything. So anyway, he insisted that we caddied. I managed to get to the 18th. We went down 19. I put my drive into the bunker, into the wind. My opponent right down the middle. So, young lad, I said, "I'll just go for it." Willie, he said, no. He says, "Splash it out before, so that you're next to play. You've played your wedges all day very well. Knock one in close and take it from there." Did that, knocked one into about 4 feet. We halved the hole in 4 in the end. So I probably would have hit the face of the bunker and been out, and then I managed to win 19. I didn't go on to win the Shield that year, never have, but it was a great experience, and I think I was knocked out in the next round, but tremendous memories. And
so Willie gives me a nice link because he was greenskeeper for a certain period of time, and like yourself, very passionate about the golf course. You've served as a greenkeeper as well, Rob, as the greenskeeper.
Yes,
keeper.
Yes. When I moved back to Dornoch, or to the Highlands in 2009, we were I was just playing golf for a couple of years, and then a conversation with Hamish McRae in the car park. The next thing that night, Eileen was round to the house with a proposal form for Council of Management, and to cut a long story short, Geordie Gunn was the captain at the time. Geordie phoned me up the day of the meeting and said, "Rob, how do you fancy being Greens convener?" That night at the Council of Management meeting, he said, "Oh, and Rob's agreed to be Greens convener, and he's going to serve for 3 years." I'd originally said I'd go on for a year or something. Anyway, we had a good start. It was an interesting period because we had changes to the third hole. So I did 2 years on greens. I then did 2 years as finance convener, 2 years as vice, and then obviously 2 years as captain.
And I think it's fair to say that although it's waiting for the AGM approval, we will welcome your experience and passion, Rob, as vice president. But most of all, what we're really looking forward to is walking into this new clubhouse and seeing the story of Royal Dornoch, are we not?
It's, as everybody knows, the club has been a long time waiting for a new clubhouse, and it's just tremendous to be, from my point of view, to have been part of that, and continue the kind of family tradition of doing your bit for Royal Dornoch. The clubhouse itself, as you know, the groundworks are started, and it's a little bit surreal at this point in time, but finally we've got the clubhouse on the move, and we'll have a building that the members, visitors will be proud of.
You've had various trips abroad as well, Rob, which representing the golf club. I'm looking at sort of two strands here. One is, how have you found wearing the Royal Dornoch logos, etc., has been received when you've been noticed when you're abroad?
Well, when we go to the CCNC trip, for example, out to Pinehurst, they see the Royal Dornoch logo in Pinehurst Village, and you're treated like gods. I mean, the welcome is fantastic. But just like here, it's all about golf. It's all about fun, enjoying golf. But the CCNC games are tremendous fun. Great golf, great friendships built. We go have tremendous hospitality, dinners, and people like Ziggy Zalzanek will treat us so well. Tom Bedo, there's too many to mention, but the hospitality and the friendships, it's the friendships that we've built up over the years. You know, we have good friends now.
Solid relationship.
Yeah. They come back here. A lot of them are members here. It's always big hugs when we meet up, and man hugs.
And any trips down to other places in the States when you're across there?
No, I've only been to Pinehurst. I've actually managed to play Pinehurst number 2 a couple of times, right. And a superb facility there. Just ongoing development, new courses. The par 3 course that they developed a few years ago, the Cradle course, 9 holes, absolutely great fun, and they're trying to encourage younger people into golf.
And does that sort of stimulate some ideas you want to bring back to Dornoch? Yes,
we've every time we come back on the projects team, we look at ways to improve. We want to improve practice facilities here. We want a small 9-hole, probably a 6-hole course, develop the Struy course. We just need a bucket load of money, and we could just go and do it all just now, but get the clubhouse out of the way and start some of these other projects as well, so that we get the facilities that Dornoch deserves.
Along with the clubhouse, we've got the lease and the security of that, Rob, as well. And how do you see the future of Dornoch and Royal Dornoch over the next longer than we're going to be on this earth?
Yeah, well, the new common good land lease we negotiated for 99 years with an extension of 99 years. So effectively, we've got 200 years of golf. It's great for the town. I hope we've built bridges with the town, because as history shows us, there has been a bit of friction between the town and the golf club. But the golf club's all about Dornoch, and the new revenue that the Highland Council that will filter down to the community council is invaluable to just let the club put back more back into the town.
We've seen quite a lot of investment with the houses, etc., and also hotels and that. And do you think that's based on the stability of Royal Dornoch?
Yeah, for years, there's been a lack of hotel space. We go back to the times of the Borofield. Borofield was probably the place to stay for people coming up to the likes of the Borofield tournament, for Carnegie Shield, and as we know, the Curry brothers, the hospitality there was second to none. Great social scene, tremendous tournament. The Borofield have been started by them all those years ago, and it's now, over the years, there's just been a lack of accommodation here. So that's another thing that we may do, is a dormy house to provide some accommodation right next to the clubhouse, so that members and visitors can stay. But the Royal Golf, obviously, and Links House next door. We've now got the Station Hotel, who've spent a lot of money investing in that. They obviously see the future of golf in Dornoch and the benefit that they can bring to the town, and that they can give to visitors. And
yeah. We've spoken about our special week for the Carnegie Week, which brings a lot of people here, but there's also the R&A have recognised us as a competition course.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the R&A hold regular events here, and we've put in a plug for the Walker Cup in the future. Just remember that, R&A, if you're listening. But the R&A come here. We had the seniors. R&A held their very first seniors event, where ladies and men played at the same venue, the same time. They used the Struy course, and great recognition for the Struy course, that they felt that the Struy was up for a championship of that level. So both courses were used. Again, hospitality was great. Everybody enjoyed themselves. Tournament was run extremely well and professionally, and everybody went away happy. And no doubt come back for more.
Well, Rob, to pull this part one to an end, I'll just mention to folks that they should continue looking through the archives videos for Wilma Murray, who continued as a Greens convener for myself as captain here, and is now the current ladies captain. So the family really steeped in golf, and the fun that you get, I think, will be replicated by the folk enjoying your interview today. Thank you very much, Rob.
Thank you, Willie.